Go ahead.
So where do we stop off at?
She was telling me the crazy question that she asked.
Okay, crazy question that you asked. Okay, go.
Okay. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, nobody can ask any crazier questions than me. Like, I'm pretty sure one time I came into the office and I literally asked, like, oh, do I ask somebody to be my mentor the same way I would ask a guy to be my boyfriend or something like that? No, you don't. Kind of close, but no, you don't. But, like, stuff like that, only ask a trio. Zero filter, and if you feel bad, like, you probably can't come up as many crazy questions as I came up with, so you ain't got no excuse to feel bad.
Okay, cool. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience here at UCR, both of you, but Tina, I'd like you to speak a little bit about your undergraduate research and how unique and different that is.
Okay, so I started off as a biochemistry major, and I was doing really well. I had a 4.0 my first year. But the thing is, I was going to class, I was doing really well, but I felt like I was going to school, and that's it. I did enjoy it, but not enough to do extra of it. And I went to research workshops. TRiO has a few workshops they recommend us to go. There's flyers. And every workshop that I go to, or professors' talks that I hear about, they talk about research. So I was wondering, okay, you know, I keep on hearing the word research a lot, and then not many people do research as a freshman. But for me, I have a bit of time, my grades are good, so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. So I went out to the faculty's page, and I just read up professors' profiles. Most of the research I ran into that's related to biochemistry, I did not understand it. I wasn't at that level yet, so... And then biology, I was looking at this genes. You look at a certain gene, and I was really confused to what that was too. I mean, I saw it in my textbook, and then I was scrolling down, and I saw ants. I was like, I know what ants are. Okay. And then this professor was trying to find a way to control pests that are in household structures. So I decided to email the professor and said, okay, I used to work at Discovery Science Center, and they have a bug exhibit there, and that was my favorite spot, because that was the easiest thing I can talk about. So I scheduled an appointment to meet with him. Unfortunately, that professor was retired, so he forwarded me to another professor. So I went to this professor, and I talked about the ant project. The interview process went really well. My professor was really open. He knew that I didn't know too much about bugs. He knows that that was not my major, too. And he seemed really confident in me, and he gave me a research topic. He told me that the topic that I'm going to work on no one knows about. It's a new species. And I was like, okay. So I accepted the project, but I noticed that it was not exactly ants what he gave me. It turned out to be a new exotic species of cockroach. And I froze for a bit, and I said, okay. And he's like, let me show you around lab. And I said, okay. I said, do you work with ants? He said, ants are in another lab. This lab is cockroaches. So I was in a room with more than a few thousand cockroaches, and I was starting to sweat and shake.
So he played you.
No, he didn't. But I was really determined to see what research is, so I did not let this opportunity slide. So I took on the project, read everything I can about cockroaches, and also just said, okay, I'm going to do this, even though I'm afraid. Strange thing is that after working with cockroaches every day, I became very fond of working with them, and then I wasn't as afraid of them anymore. And the cool thing is there was like an outbreak of these new species, and then no one knows about them. So I got a phone call, and my professor said, I haven't looked at the species, can you talk to them? And then I was the only one that knows about the species of cockroach, so I'm helping people that are having like invasions from these little cockroaches. And I was like, wow, I'm actually helping people with cockroaches. I managed to publish on my research. So the first study was the biology, because not many people know about it. So, and I won just for writing 2 pages of description for them from the Western Exterminator Company. They gave me $1,800. And I did the water loss study project on them because we wanted to know why the species is displacing the common black cockroach that you see around. They're also known as oriental cockroaches. The one you commonly see is also American, but this new species is actually appearing a lot in many areas. So I did a water loss study to see if there's something, whether they're better adapted to the environment or something. And I presented that research at Lake Tahoe, and I won first place for my research there. It's strange that cockroaches pulled me a long way, But that was not the only research I stayed in. So on top of that research, I also worked on assassin bugs, and I helped identify them. So with that one lab, it helped me branch up to other research projects, and I was able to help other students. I don't know how this happened, but I also became the president of the entomology club on campus, and I'm helping everyone in entomology get into research. And by the end of my junior year, I believe, I got everyone that didn't have research in my major to get into a research lab. About half of them are publishing something, or they have like made a poster at least. And yeah, so it doesn't matter what major you're studying. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just make sure you stick with it. Like for the cockroach research, if I didn't stick with it and go with it every day and learn everything I can about it, I wouldn't have gone so far. If I wouldn't just give it up there and said, I don't like this, I'm not going to even try it. I'm glad that I tried it. I'm glad that I worked on it every day. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to help others with other research, not with cockroaches, but with just one idea. I was able to help a lot of people. So
cool.
So it's me. Okay. So with me, my experience at UCR, if I would have to sum it up, I would say that it's been about exploring and figuring out what I actually want to do. Growing up, like, even though I've moved to all these places, somehow my family managed to keep me in this little bubble. So I didn't really know much of anything, basically. I was the innocent among innocent, I suppose. So coming here to UCR, like, and being here in the TRiO Scholars program, it actually opened a lot of doors for me to actually dibble dabble and jump into in a variety of different things. So like Tina, like I've also done research. I actually done research with distinguished professor of history, Dr. Franklin, with his youth youth in civil rights display. And I also did community research for the International Relations Council of Riverside, helping them gather information about Riverside sister cities in order to publish onto their website. And that was actually two really cool projects to do. I've also been involved with the Common Ground Collective, and I actually helped put on Common Ground Common Ground for incoming freshmen 1 year, and that following fall quarter actually had gotten the opportunity to participate in the Common Ground retreat that they host every fall. Definitely recommend it if you're interested in learning about social justice and diversity and everything else under the sun. And I've also gotten the chance to participate in UCR's on Model United Nations Club, which you will probably colloquially know as MUN. And I've actually had gotten that opportunity actually this spring quarter to actually go to New York to the largest MUN conference in the world, and UCR was actually one of the ones to win first prize, being actual diplomats for the country of Malaysia. So like I learned different things from each of these experiences, and these are opportunities that I wouldn't have had like had I not been in college, had I not been in TRiO to actually knows these exist. And now being a fourth year, I can honestly say that I actually have a better idea of who I am as a person, what I can and can't stand, but also where my interests lie, what general direction I want to go. And there's really no way around that except exploring. Like I'm even, like as Tina said before, like I'm even in 12 days getting ready to go to Taiwan to study Chinese for the summer. Like you can't really do that anywhere else. So I believe that's what been my college experience is about, is actually forming myself as a person. And honestly, my advice would be like, there's no way to get around that. You just have to go explore. Otherwise, it's one of those situations where you're just going to stay stuck until you do something. And that, I believe, is what a lot of my time being at UCR has been about, exploring and figuring out, and I'm glad I did it.
Tina, what will it mean to you and your family to earn your Bachelor of Science? Or you already technically have, so what does it mean to you and your family?
For me, to get a Bachelor of Science in entomology, I'm very proud of. It was strange for my family. They did not really support the entomology. So when I get a BS for the Bachelor of Science for entomology, they weren't as excited, but my mom. So for entomology, for me to receive a Bachelor of Science, I was really proud and excited. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
for my family, outside of my parents, they wasn't very supportive with the entomology idea, but I'm the first in the family to receive a Bachelor of Science in one of the science categories. So I was really happy, and it's something that I really wanted to do. Since I started in biochemistry, everyone was expecting that. But switching to entomology, they weren't supportive, but I am very happy about it. My mom, she's really proud. I dragged my brother into my lab. He wasn't very happy about it, but after spending about an hour with me in the lab, in my research lab, he understood. He's like, this is why you like entomology. And my friends weren't as supportive too, but once they saw me out in the field, once they see me working with kids, mostly 5th graders, once I helped many people conquer their fear over bugs, having them asking me many questions about them, they said, yeah, Tina, this is what you really love to do. We actually see you as doing this. We can't see you as a biochem major. We actually saw you as this, and this is something that I chose. And even though the majority of people that I've talked to weren't supportive, but as long as I have my mom's support, and of course the TRiO Scholars, Miss Mickey, always when I came in, she was like, entomology, go!
Hold on.